Well, hello everyone. My name is Lynette Stevens, and I hope that the idea that I share with you guys tonight will encourage you to be creative and to create a cozy home. If you guys saw my post the other day where I had went shopping at Dollar Tree and Dollar General and found all kinds of cute things that were pretty darn cheap, well, we're going to be using one of those things tonight. So one of the things I posted was this cute little snowman hat ornament, Dollar Tree, for $1, and I am going to show you an idea of how you can use this cute little snowman hat. What I've done is I went out to Mr. Stevens' wood shop, which you guys know I like to do, and dig through his scraps, and I just used, these are actually little scrap pieces of 2x4, and I just stacked them together and made a snowman. I used wood glue and then my nail gun to nail them together. If you don't have a nail gun, you could just use wood glue to put yours together. Hi, Nicole and Clarice. It's good to have you gals with me tonight. Thank you for joining me. Anyway, I just stacked these little guys up, glued them together, nailed them together to form a snowman, completely made out of scraps, just trash, you guys, literally. And I went ahead, for the sake of getting us kind of going tonight, that I went ahead and painted them. So I've just got them painted white. I used just regular household latex paint to paint it. You can use craft paint, whatever kind of white paint you have. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper and sand the edges just a little bit. And what that's going to do is give our snowman a little bit of a rustic look and feel, which you guys know I love. So I'm just going to go along the edges here and do this. Let's see, Melissa, thank you. And thank you for sharing. Melissa, you reminded me. You guys, if you would, sprinkle my video, because I'm going to be picking 1 or 2 more of you this week to send a little something to in the mail. So if you would do that for me, I would appreciate it. Melissa, thank you for reminding me. So let's see, Ramona. Oh, Ramona, you are so sweet to me. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, girl. Ramona, and I don't know if you were on when I started, but I actually just went out to Larry's shop and picked up some scrap pieces of 2x4. And guys, I didn't cut these. These were literally 3 pieces I found, and I just stacked them up front, you know, in the shape of a snowman. I didn't even cut these, you guys. I literally went out there and just found me 3 pieces and put my little snow guy together. So if you guys have access to wood scraps, this is perfect. And if you don't, I've shared this idea before. If you've got maybe construction of a place of business, a new home or something going on around you, if you will stop by those job sites, a lot of times the stuff that's just thrown out on the construction site, especially things like this, they are more than happy for you to take a bag and collect some of that, because it's just stuff they're going to throw away anyway, and that's just a few pieces they don't have to pick up. So if you guys don't have a wood shop in your yard like I do, then look at construction sites. That's a great place for you to find this kind of stuff. And Home Depot and Lowe's will have bins back in their lumber department where they will put scrap pieces. That's another good way for you guys to pick this stuff up dirt cheap. So there's a couple of ideas for how you can come up with your scraps. Okay, all right, I think I've got my edges sanded like I want them. So the next thing I'm gonna do is stain over them. You guys know I like to use, if you've been watching me for a while, you know, hi Deb, I'm glad you could join me. Hi Shauna and Kathy, I appreciate you guys. I like to use, and in case you're new, because I've got a lot of new followers this week, so I like to just use Minwax stain to do like my aging on my wood products. So I'm just going to dip my brush in my stain. And listen guys, when you're staining, you don't have to cover every square inch. Like my white paint, I don't have to cover every square inch of it, because when you take your rag and start wiping, it's going to spread that stain out. You want to be careful when you're staining like this, not to get too much stain, because you can get too much. And if you get too much, you end up with a mess, because you have more stain than you have product, and you'll end up having to go through several different rags to try to get that all back off, okay? So just be careful. When I dip my brush into my stain, I just barely break the surface of the stain. As soon as I see that I've hit the surface, I stop. I don't dip the whole brush in, okay? And tonight I am using Fruitwood as the color of stain because I wanted a little bit of color on this guy, but I don't want him too dark. So Fruitwood is what I'm using. You can buy Minwax stain at Walmart, you guys, but they usually don't have Fruitwood in stock. So to get Fruitwood, you're probably gonna have to go to either, I always encourage you to check with your local hardware store first or paint store to help support those guys. And that's what I like to do, and I encourage you to do the same. And if they don't carry Minwax Fruitwood, then you go to like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, and they're gonna have the Fruitwood color, okay? Walmart usually doesn't, or at least the Walmarts in my area don't. You could check yours, but I've never had any luck at any of the Walmarts near me finding the Fruitwood color. So you can check and see if yours carries it. But if not, there's some other places you can get it. And of course, you can always order it off of Amazon too. And I usually buy my stain in the quart size, you guys. But if you're not going to do tons of crafty things, you could just get one of the little pint size too, and that would work and last you for a while. Because as you can see, I'm not using much stain, so it really does last. Okay, so let's get this on here. Our guy's looking pretty cute. I don't know if you guys can tell because I've got my hands all over him. I love, love, love the way he looks because it added just a little bit of a vintage feel to him, but not so much that he's just dark. Because since, after all, he is a snowman, I didn't want him to turn him too dark. So let's see how he's looking. He's looking pretty good. And technically, I don't even have to put anything on the top because, as you've probably already figured out, our snowman hat's going up there. But just in case you might see the edges, I wipe just a little bit. All right, so we're done with that part. And you guys, I get asked a lot about my stain rags, and old t-shirts work great. So if you need to clean out your closet or all the closets in your home, everybody's closet, old pieces of t-shirt, they work wonderful for this. And I just cut my t-shirts up into smaller sections and use those for wiping off stain, and it works great. If you don't have any old t-shirts, you can buy a box of rags at the hardware stores and use those if you need to. So, but we seem to always have plenty of old t-shirts around here, so that's what I use. All right, so we got that done. And then the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and work on the face of our snowman. And I'm gonna show you guys, I took a little bitty piece of wood. I don't know if you guys can even see it. You'll probably see it better when I get it glued on. Took a little bitty piece of wood that was actually, I found it in Mr. Stevens' workshop, already kind of in a carrot shape. And I just painted it orange, okay? And I'd stained over it too, but I went ahead and did that ahead of time so that you guys didn't have to sit and watch me paint this little bitty carrot nose. But if you don't have a piece of wood, you can paint your nose on. Just use orange craft paint and put your nose on that way. You can definitely paint it on and it'll work just fine, okay? But since I found this and I thought it was super cute, we're using it. Okay, and I'm gonna show you guys in just a second here. Get my excess glue off right quick while it's still warm because I got a little too much. All right, I'm gonna turn around at that point and let you guys see. See, I kind of just put him up at an angle, give him a little bit of interest. So paint that guy on if you don't have a little scrap of, I think it's like paneling, honestly, because it's not very thick. So now let's see if we can get our paint. And I'm just using the little bottles of craft paint. And you guys can find those at Walmart in the craft section, or you can also find them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, those kind of places. And guys, the best thing for making snowman eyes, especially on something this size, because I need them to be pretty small. I don't want really big eyes. So I'm just taking a paintbrush, and I'm using a craft paintbrush, I might add. And I'm just using the tip of the handle, and that's what I'm gonna use to do my eyes, okay? And that might not have been quite big enough. I'm gonna make it just a hair bigger. Okay, so I'll get his eyes on real fast. Oh, perfect. And The eyes are done. Guys, this is fast, super duper fast. And listen, this one is skill level, easy enough. It's something you can do with your kids or your grandkids. So this is a very kid-friendly one as well. And then let them decorate and embellish it any way they want, okay? Super easy. Okay, now for my snowman buttons, I'm actually using buttons. And to tell you the truth, I wanted to use just little silver jingle bells, and I put them on, and I guess because the way, you know, it's wood and then that little loop on the back of the jingle bell, it just didn't look good. So that idea didn't work. So I went with just plain old black buttons. And to give the buttons a little bit of interest, you don't have to do this, but I want our guy to have a little bit of a country flair to him. I went ahead and put string through my 4 little holes in my button, and then I just tied it off on the top. And right now they're kind of long, but we're going to trim those after we get them on, okay? And what I'm going to do, and you guys have heard me say this before, it is easier when you are trying to put like this button on this flat surface of the snowman. You know, years ago I used to put my hot glue on the back of the button and then hope that I can get it down there without burning myself. Well, since then I've gotten a little bit smarter. Maybe it comes with age, I don't know. I don't do that anymore. I kind of eyeball and figure out where the center of this bottom piece of our snowman is, and I'm going to put my dot of hot glue there and then set the button in it. 10 times easier. So for all of you that knew that for years and years, I'm a little jealous because I might have burned myself a time or two doing it this way. So hats off to those of you that figured that out a long time ago. For me, it was probably only 10 or 12 years ago I figured that out. So let's get our dot of glue on, and it doesn't take much, you guys, because after all, it's just a button. We don't need a ton of glue, because let me tell you, if you get carried away, you're going to have glue oozing out all around your button, and you're probably not going to be real happy about that. So literally, I do something like right then, the amount of glue I put down was smaller than like the eraser on a pencil. So I just put a tiny amount because it does not take much, okay? So let's get our second button put on. And same thing, the size, I don't know if you guys can see that, but literally, like, you can't see that pencil eraser because we don't want it oozing out. All right, so we got our buttons on, and then I'm gonna let those be for a few minutes and let that glue start to dry and set up. So I'm not gonna cut these threads off just yet. We'll cut those off here in a minute, okay? So then the next thing I want to do before I put his hat on is I took just a piece of fabric, and so that it looks, I don't know, a little vintage, I guess, a little more rustic, instead of cutting my fabric, I tore it so it would be jagged and have imperfect edges on it, okay? And you can use anything. You could use flannel. If you've got an old flannel shirt, an old pair of pajama bottoms or something that you're no longer using, they are perfect for ripping and tearing, like I just said, and making your snowman scarf out of that. So I opted for this little black and white gingham for him. I couldn't decide, honestly, between this and then I had a little red and cream colored gingham that was real cute. But what I did is I set my hat on top of him and looked at both of the scarves and decided that this little black and white was pretty darn cute. So black and white it is. All right. So there's, got his scarf on him. And guys, I'm not going to glue that. There's really no need. It tied on pretty tight. I'll turn around and let you guys see what it's looking like so far. And we'll probably trim this in a minute, but we'll go ahead and put his hat on next. And then we'll take a look at it and see if it looks like his scarf needs to be trimmed. And if it does, we'll cut it down then, okay? All right, so now I am going to just, same thing, put a little glue, being careful not to put too much. All right, I'm just gonna put a little glue on top so that we can attach his hat, okay? And I'm gonna kind of look to make sure I get it. I want his hat where it truly is centered on his head so that we've got kind of the same amount of brim hanging over on all 4 sides. And I think we got it. So I'm just gonna push this down for a second and kind of hold it while we let our glue dry. And guys, seriously, for something that we've got $1 in his hat, scrap wood, a little piece of torn fabric, and a couple of buttons, I think this guy turned out pretty cute. So another good idea for you guys, if you're maybe a person that sits up and does vendor shows, or you're trying to sell some of your crafty things, I think this guy would be a really good seller because I think he turns out pretty cute. And because you don't have a lot in him, you don't have to ask a lot for him. So I think if you were to make up several of these and do them like I've told you guys before, do the assembly line. Assemble all of your little snowman bodies and then paint them all at the same time, sand them at the same time, stain them at the same time, and then do the embellishments. You could knock out lots of these pretty quick and have a little booth full of these in no time. So if you're somebody who does that, maybe you've got a little show coming up here before long, I think this guy would be a pretty good little seller. And I'm going to trim his threads on his button just a little bit. And then we're going to decide if we're going to cut his scarf down a little bit too. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to turn him around and let you see how stinking cute he is. I love him. But I'm thinking that scarf is just a little too long. I mean, longer than his body. That's probably a little too long. So let me trim this up just a hair. And tell you what I'm going to do. Okay, let me get this trimmed off. And then I've got one more idea that I just thought about that I think would be cute. All right, so the ends of... Okay, that looks better. And maybe... I don't know. Let's look and see if that's still a little too long. We got a thread here, little string that don't want to cooperate. Let's cut that off. Okay, let's see. What do you guys think? Should I cut it maybe a little bit more? I don't want to get it too short. I don't know. We may just go with that. I kind of like it like that. But here's what I'm thinking. You know how the ends of scarves sometimes have that fringed edge? I'm thinking that we could cut a fringed edge down here, and I'm just going to, actually, I think I'm just going to use the lines on the gingham pretty much to decide where to cut. And so we just do that little, sure enough, looks like, let me show you the difference. Can you guys see that? Maybe, hopefully. I'll take a picture when we're done too and post it. But his little fringed edge, I think that looks cute to have that on the end. So I'm going to do that on the other side of our scarf on the other end and get the little fringe going on, make it look legitimate. I think that kind of adds to it. I like it, guys. Okay, I think he's pretty darn cute. So there you go. Fast, super cheap, and I think he turned out really cute. So what do you guys think? Do you like him? Clarice and Vicky, yay. You guys like him? Melissa, Deb, isn't he cute? I mean, for something that is so cheap, and you guys saw how fast it was. I mean, I think he turned out pretty adorable. I had planned on maybe giving this guy away, but I may have to keep him because I really do like him. So for a $1 hat, I think he's pretty stinking cute. So, oh, Kelly, I'm so glad you could join me tonight. It's good to hear from you, girl. Thank you. I think he's pretty cute. Let me turn back around where you guys can see. All right, so you guys know the routine. If you would sprinkle my video, I would appreciate it. And I am, sometime next week, I'm going to pick a name, and then probably later in the week, another name. I am trying my best to start coming live with you guys nearly every day. I think I'm going to take Sundays off, but I'm going to try to come on a lot because I found so many cute things at Dollar General and Dollar Tree that I want to share with you guys. Plus, I've got some other ideas from just things I have laying around the house that I want to share with you too. And of course, I want to come on and give you some ideas as far as arrangements and, things that you can make, centerpiece things that you can make for your table or your kitchen island, kind of like I did for fall. I want to do that too. And I'm hoping to start getting my Christmas decorating started next week, which I've never done in my life that early, but I want to do that so I can share ideas with you guys there as well. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me for the next few weeks because I have so many ideas that I want to share with you. So, do you guys have anything? Debbie, do you think he is stinking cute? I do too. And I mean, seriously, for the amount of money that we have in him, that's just crazy. And you know, guys, these would be cute. Another thing you could do with them, maybe you exchange things with your coworkers, you know, just a little small gift. Or maybe you don't. Maybe no one else in the office does it. But for the cost that we have in this guy, you could easily make up several of these and surprise your coworker. You know, leave these on their desk with a sweet little note the first week of December, maybe even that first Monday in December. I mean, that is another really cute thing you can do with it, and just use it as a little blessing for somebody, because when I look at him, it doesn't look like to me we have, I don't know, $1.50 in him. So that would be a super cute thing that you could do with them as well. So another thing I thought about is I've got some ideas for some other snowmen. I'll just tell you now that I want to do with you guys. And I thought if I hang on to this guy and then we keep making others, you end up with a little, you know, snow person community. I don't know. Or a little snow person family. But anyway, there's just a lot of different things you can do with this guy. So, but for me, I think I may have to keep him and add him to my own decor because I really like him. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. Let's see, Kelly, what are you saying? I think I have that hat from last year. Oh, Kelly, I bet you do, because I've noticed some of the things I bought at Dollar Tree last year, they do have them again this year. So you're probably right. You probably have this exact hat, girl. Now, guys, listen, Kelly just reminded me about that too. If any of you make this guy, be sure and share a photo with me, because I love seeing your creations too, because you guys come up with great ideas as well. So I love seeing what you guys do and when you get crafty. So make sure if you make this guy that you remember to share a photo with me, because I love seeing that. So hi, Trish. Thanks for joining me, dear. Vicki, I love snowmen too. When I get all my Christmas stuff out, you guys will probably see how much I love them, because I am a snowman fan. Have been for a very long time, so I absolutely love them. Debbie, what are you saying here? You guys have to forgive me because I have my phone further away tonight than I normally do, and so if you see me squinting, you'll have to forgive me. So place settings for each person. They could keep them as a small gift. Debbie, what a great idea is that. You guys, Debbie, that is a brilliant idea. So Debbie's saying make these as a place setting for your holiday party or your holiday get-together, and each person gets to take theirs home as a gift. That is a super cute idea. I love that. Trish, you're going to have to go back and watch from the beginning, dear. These are just 3 little pieces of 2x4 scrap I got out of Larry's shop and built a little snowman body, and then decorated this thing with my little $1 Dollar Tree hat. So you're going to have to go watch from the very beginning, because seriously, crazy cute. So cute for that amount of money. So yes, Debbie, that was an excellent idea. You know, you could even, if you guys do, you know, the place cards, you know, for the names, if you have arranged seating at your holiday get-together, holiday parties, this little guy, you could even lean the name cards, you know, up next to him, like on the front of him. Or maybe you get one of the cute little metal tags. You guys know what I'm talking about, the little round tags that have the metal rim and then it's like paper. You could get some of those at office supply companies. Hobby Lobby has them over near their scrapbooking stuff. Walmart has them on their office supply aisle. You could get those and write, like with a little Sharpie, the person's name, and just tie that, you know, around the scarf and let it hang down in front of the guy, and then they can always take that off, you know, later. But Debbie, that was just a great idea. Thank you, girl. I appreciate that. So yeah, Trish, you'll have to go back and watch, because this guy is super duper easy. Let's see. Mary, thank you. I appreciate that. So, oh, Vicki, you missed what I used for the nose? Okay, let me hold him up. Vicki, I found this little bitty piece of wood laying in Larry's shop. I think it is from like paneling, because it's pretty thin. And I looked down, and to me it already just looked like a carrot nose. So I just brought that in and painted that orange. So, and then I glued it on a while ago with my hot glue gun. But you don't have to use wood for his nose. You could just paint that nose on if you want. And another thing I've done in the past, girls, I've got the little, I think it's called modeling clay, maybe. I don't know. It's clay. It comes in little bricks. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. You can get it at Walmart in the craft department. I've bought orange clay before and just rolled that into the shape of a carrot and just set it and let it dry, and then you could hot glue that on. And if you don't want it sticking out, like his little carrot nose sticking out, then you roll it, and when you lay it down, you flatten it just a little, and that will create a flat across the entire part of your carrot where you could glue it on, and it looks just like mine. See, where it doesn't protrude out, it just lays against him. So you can use that orange clay to make their nose, and that is super cute too. So, and that stuff's cheap. Like, I think you can buy a little brick of it for $2 or something, and then make all kinds of snowman nose out of it, and it's already colored, so there's no painting, there's no anything, it's already orange. So you could do that for the nose too, and that would be super cute. So literally, you guys, you can use your imagination. I just thought of something else. You could probably take one of the little wooden popsicle sticks and just a pair of wire cutters, just cut the stick, and then however long you want your carrot nose, you know, cut 2 angles so that you're creating what looks like a carrot. And you could use that and kind of do the same thing I've done, but just using a popsicle stick because it's thinner too. And you could create a little nose that glues on if you don't want to paint it. So there's a couple of different ways that you guys can create your snowman nose, things that I've done in the past. The little clay, I'm just telling you right now, girls, it works great. It makes the cutest little nose. So I think you guys would like it if you picked yourself up some of that clay. So that works really good. Okay, Vicky, never used the clay. Good idea. I wish my hubs liked to woodwork. Oh, Vicky, I wish he did too, because then you could go scouring around out in the shop like I do all the time. So it's pretty fun. I go out there and it's like being on a treasure hunt. So I love it. But anyway, I hope this gave you guys a good idea. I hope it encourages you. If you make one of these, make sure and share a pic with me so that I can see your cute little creation. So I'll get a better picture tomorrow. I'll probably take him outside and stage him where we can get a brighter picture, and then I will post him for you guys so that you can see kind of up close more of the detail of him. So I'm super excited about that. So yes, Vicky, the popsicle stick. And you know, years ago, I used to use those for all kinds of things. And I'm surprised I didn't think about that until I was live. But yeah, the popsicle sticks would work great too. So that and the clay. And I think you gals, if you start using the clay and see how easy it is, because when you first start working with it, it's very easy to mold and work with. It's wonderful. And then of course, when it's dry, you know, it's hard as a rock. So it's a really good choice for making your little carrot noses. And not just for this snowman, for any snowman you're gonna make. That little clay works really well for that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this idea tonight, and I might be back on with you tomorrow. I won't be on Sunday because I'm going to take a break on Sundays. And then, of course, hopefully you'll see me a lot next week. At least that's the plan. So I'm excited to share with you guys all the great ideas of all the cool things that I have found in the last couple of weeks. So I'm excited about it. Thank you guys so much for being good to me. Remember to tell your friends about my video, because next week I'm going to be drawing some names and sending a couple more things out. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being with me, and you have a great evening. Bye-bye.